This is not good. This would not have happened to the Mickey Thompsons. Today, we got this here fixer flat. And it says on here that it's designed for passenger cars, sedans, sports cars, and trailers. It's not designed for truck tires. So we don't know if it's going to work. But I figure these are like wimpy town tires anyways. They ain't like real truck tires. So it doesn't say to use by any certain date. But I'm going to bet this can has been in here for, I don't know, it's a messy mess right now. But this can's probably been in here for 10 years or better. So I highly doubt that this is going to be a successful test. Whoa! Work. All right, bad news, America. I don't see no bar. So I gave you my examples of why you might need to fix a flat in an emergency. And then we went to get inside of the F-150, and lo and behold, there's no lug wrench and there's no tool to be able to remove my spare tire. So this is a new truck to me, but it was previously owned by somebody else, and obviously they or somebody took out the tools to be able to take the lugs off, run the jack, and get the spare tire. So when I gave you those examples, now I'm in one of those examples. And it's kind of an emergency situation. I mean, it's not full-on, full-blown emergency situation. I'm not deep up in the woods hunting and didn't have my spare tire tool, lug wrench, the tool that used the jack to be able to get the jack to go up and down. Didn't have none of that in the truck. Pray the Lord has his hand on us, gets us through this safely. I have confidence in him. I don't have confidence in the tire. I don't have confidence in the fixed flat. Should have got the Mickey Thompsons this winter. What's good, America? This is not good. This is what the MPG tires do to you. I just pulled off the side of the road a little bit to let another person go by on the dirt road, and then it went down almost to flat. Well, I went to flat within probably an hour, but went down 10 psi within like 10 minutes. So this is not good. This would not have happened to the Mickey Thompsons. But anyways, these town tires are no good. Can't wait to get the Mickey Thompsons. We'll be getting a Mickey Thompson review as soon as we do. But today we got this here fixer flat. And it says on here that it's designed for passenger cars, sedans, sports cars, and trailers. It's not designed for truck tires. So we don't know if it's going to work. But I figure these are like wimpy town tires anyways. They ain't like real truck tires. It's not like Mickey Thompson's or something. Like the Explorer's got better tires. So we're going to give this a shot for the first time. Never used it before. I've just kind of kept it in the vehicle as an emergency type of situation, and this is not necessarily an emergency, but we're going to find out what it would be like if it was an emergency. But I already noticed one problem. It's not good. And then this valve stem is supposed to be over here, and it's directly up and down. That means I got to roll the truck forward a bit on that really flat tire. So I think I'm going to blow up that tire a little bit, and then I don't have a valve stem remover, so I might have to just let the air come out of it. I don't know. I don't got to move it a whole lot, but I don't want to move it like that because I could damage the tire. And I mean, that would be a good excuse to go get Mickey Thompson's right now. Anyways, gonna hit this fixer flat. Gonna see if it can do anything for this in an emergency. Mic's on. You can see the light. Scorned by the battery going dead on us. All right, we got us this here air compressor, phone charger, flashlight, dealy bobber that a good friend of ours got off of Amazon and gifted to us. Thank you, Gonzalo. Shout out to Gonzalo. Thank you, Gonzalo. And it is not got a name on it, so I can't even tell you what it is to go and be able to find it. But this is the first time we've ever used it for anything. We haven't even charged our phones with it. So we're going to use it today to blow up the tire, hopefully. If this does not blow up the tire, then we don't have a way to blow up the tire because our other air compressor emergency thing, the hose ripped off of the clamper dealy bobber that clamps onto the valve stem. So hopefully this will blow it up at least enough for me to be able to move it to the 7 o'clock position, and then we could try the fixer flat. If not, I'm going to be getting the spare tire out, and of course the spare tire is not attached to the back of the truck like on the white truck. No, 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 no. Keeping it like in the old days, that's too easy. We got to make it complicated. It's got a key and a little thing under there. I have no idea. So it's going to be an adventure, America. Anyways, thanks, Gonzalo. See how good this worked. This, by the way, is made in China. Made in China. All right. We have had it out of the box because we charged it. Got your little dealing bobber there, your little hose. Still in my F-150. Boy, you can't even hardly see that screen. Hmm. Whoa. Work. All right. My valve stem. Merca. Merca. Thanks, Gonzalo. Oh, here we go. In an emergency, we can depend on China. That's like a flat. All right, America, we're going to try to get the tire into the 7 o'clock position, like the can says. Ready? So the fixer flat says that we got to shake it vigorously. Like a martini. I don't know, does it say you got your glasses on? Does it say for how long?
Moving through the clear hose. Release the button, unscrew hose.
All right, there's the instructions, America. Pretty straightforward. I figured that's a sedan tire. Same thing. This would have never happened on the Mickey Thompsons. First time, America. At least I'm not deep up in the woods hunting.
It's already attached to the can?
Yeah, it's already attached to the can. Almost looks like it's got fluid in there. I want to spin. There we go. Got it. Oh, hear it. Letting the air out of the valve. Yes, it's compressed air, but it's not a lot of compressed air. So this can is pretty old. Doesn't have a date, but I would have. Oh, well, that helped. Vented itself. It is. It's got a vent on it. See, vented itself again. Sure, not supposed to get it on my hands, but stinks like oil. That reminds me of spray foam, but all right, I need to see how much is in this can. Oh, half the can is still in there.
Really?
So, it doesn't say to use by any certain date, but I'm gonna bet this can has been in here for, I don't know, it's a messy mess right now, but this can's probably been in here for 10 years or better. I don't see a date on it at all. Doesn't say use by, but
Bottom.
the bottom's got a mark on it, but it says 12/14, so that don't make no sense. Could be, but I'd say there's more than half the can left in there. So I highly doubt that this is going to be a successful test. I don't know 100%, but I just think over time, compressed air doesn't hold up. Mm-hmm. But that's it. Gonna add a little more air here, maybe. Gonna add a little bit more air because I just don't want to drive it with that flat around. The Fix-A-Flat says I'm supposed to drive it immediately and start getting it going for a mile or two or three. So I'm gonna let this air up a little bit more and then I'll drive it around. So we definitely got up off the bottom. We have more air in the tire from where we started for sure. Makes me nervous driving around with it just that much. And we're only driving on gravel roads, so it's not like when you're driving around on the street to try to get the tire hot. So I don't know how well this is going to work. I hope I'm not going to have to figure out how to change my flat out in the middle of the woods somewhere. But
I just do 2 miles. Call it good. Alright. We got ready.
all right, America. We're going to attempt to drive this around like it says. This is probably all for naught. Big old waste of time. And it says I've only got 15 pounds of pressure in my tire, which is not really good for driving around. It could come off the bead, but we're gonna find out. If it comes off the bead and I'm up off the road, then I'm gonna be in trouble. Anyways, let's see what happens. So I drove it around and tire pressure did come up by 1 psi. So right now we're trying to inflate it and see if it'll hold any tire pressure at all. with the Fix-A-Flat in there. Now, this doesn't work to be, it's not really truly fair to Fix-A-Flat. Can was at least 10 years old, maybe 13 or 14. And you didn't want to, it's not designed for this big a tire. And it didn't want to, the pressurized air did not want to put all of the slime, that's what I'm going to call it, that's what we called it at the motorcycle shop. Didn't want to get all the slime in there. And I just don't think it's fair to the Fix-A-Flat. I will buy another one for the future, but it is good to know that they go bad, and if you're using it for an emergency, which you may never have, but that's how our emergency is. So when you do need it, you've got it. You probably have to throw it away every 10 years and get a new one. So right now we're just trying to air it up and see if it'll hold air. If not, we're going to figure out how to get that spare tire out of there and change the tire. And I even believe that if I was up in the mountains and for some reason I was not able to put on my spare tire, like maybe the spare tire's flat or the jack is not working properly, or you don't have your lug wrench and you can't get your lugs off, you would be able to take that. If you had an air compressor, you would definitely want to put air in your tire. And so I think those are two good emergency things to have if you're going to be up in the woods, is a battery powered air compressor and that Fix-A-Flat, because it would definitely get you out of the woods. I'm 90% sure would get you out of the woods. I still would, if I had the option to put my spare tire on in those conditions, I'd put my spare tire on, because about 25 years they're in the same spot, and that's at least in the crew cab. It's back here. So here you got your seat. We have our seats folded up. I have the seats folded up most of the time because I'm hauling stuff around, dogs, equipment. But here we got the backpack. This is Dry Bog. Don't get upset, YouTube. Truck gun. Keep that hanging there. We have this nice little seat protector that we got from Gonzalo. 1-800-GONZALO hooks you up. He's your good friend, hooks you up with all the free stuff. Gonzalo, our man right there. Nice seat protector too. Don't know what the name of it is, I tell you, but all right, can you get in here? So if your seat's in the up position, you have to pull this tab to get your seat down, and then you have this other tab to get here to the back. Pull that down, and there's your jack. Got that? Now I have a bottle jack, but I guess for the sake of this video, I'm going to use this jack. I also have a torque wrench, and I am going to torque my lugs. That wasn't in there very tight. That's interesting. It's barely on there. All right, bad news, America. I don't see no bar. So I gave you my examples of why you might need the Fix-A-Flat in an emergency. And then we went to get inside of the F-150, and lo and behold, there's no lug wrench and there's no tool to be able to remove my spare tire. So this is a new truck to me, but it was previously owned by somebody else, and obviously they or somebody took out the tools to be able to take the lugs off, run the jack, and get the spare tire. So when I gave you those examples, now I'm in one of those examples. Fortunately, I was able to find another Fix-A-Flat in the white truck. This one is for bigger tires, And this one doesn't look like it has been compromised like the other one was compromised. The other one looked like it was compromised. So we're actually going to find out today if the truck can make it back to town. It's 50 miles ish to town, and I got to go over a mountain pass, two mountain passes, but one real massive mountain pass that has a lot of corners on it. So it makes me a little nervous to be dependent on this Fix-A-Flat, and it's on the front tire. So it could have a blowout, and if it had a blowout on the front tire, then that'd be real bad. But anyways, it's the same thing again. Shake for 30 seconds, attach it, fill it up, and see if this one holds better. This one says it holds for 3 days and 100 miles. If this doesn't work, then the truck's going to have to sleep here for the week, and I'm going to have to go to town and try to come up with the tool, the jack tool, and the lugs. It's hard to believe that that stuff's not in there, but it's my fault. When I got the truck 9 months ago, I should have looked to make sure that the jack, the spare, and the tools, the lug wrench, and everything was supposed to be underneath the seat. I should have checked and made sure everything was under the seat. So it's all on me. Truck sleeps here. It's my fault. Haven't had coffee yet this morning, so hopefully you don't get any bad words from me. All right. Got the rubber gloves on this time because that stuff took hours to get off of my hands. Well, it's not starting out well. Let a bunch of air out. Little spinny thing doesn't want to spin very good. Hopefully that's the only problems. All right, well, air's coming out. It's just crazy. More is coming out here than is going in the tire. It's still full. This is way worse than last time. Way worse. There's so much gunk inside the valve stem. Air it going in just stops. There's not enough pressure in the can to keep it going in. It shook up enough because it's foamy. So I know that's not what the problem is. But I have to shake it to get enough air pressure in the can to be able to start pushing it through the valve stem. That's why I kind of wish I didn't have the valve stem in there. If I was able to take the valve stem off, going in good now. I don't know what minutes is, but it's been well over minutes. All right, here's an update, America. We decided to use the Fix-A-Flat and see if it was going to work in an emergency situation. It's kind of an emergency situation. I mean, it's not full-on, full-blown emergency situation. I'm not deep up in the woods hunting and didn't have my spare tire tool, lug wrench, the tool that used the jack to be able to get the jack to go up and down. Didn't have none of that in the truck. That's called aggravation. Anyways, we were able to get the big can of Fix-A-Flat in there. It wasn't wanting to work too good. I think the pressure from the air was down because it was too old. It was at least 10 years old as well. And should have had newer Fix-A-Flats in there. But I gotta say, right now, we're holding 27 PSI. I'll flip the camera around here in a second and show you what my screen says. But we were able to get it up from, well, the first Fix-A-Flat, so, all right. The first Fix-A-Flat held for about 2 hours at 22 PSI, which I was surprised by. Gave me confidence in being in it, holding up long enough that I might be able to drive back to town. So then when we discovered that the jack was incomplete, that the tools were missing from the jack, I decided, well, it's either leave the truck up here until I can buy new tools. I don't know when I'm going to be able to order them. I don't know when I'll get them if I have to order them. So I thought, well, let me look in the white truck and see if I have any more Fix-A-Flat in that. And lo and behold, I had 2 more cans of Fix-A-Flat in there. And I had one for truck tires. Well, it doesn't say truck tires, it says big tires. So this morning you saw the debacle of trying to put that in. That can wasn't any good either. But I was able to get the majority of the can into the tire, and I figure with what I got in there from yesterday's can, that's still in there. It's probably destroying my sensors, and the guy who has to change the tire is going to be real happy with me when he sees everything. Anyways, it's holding air. Our air compressor battery went dead. Wasn't able to get it up to the amount of air that it needs to have or should have. I think I'm behind a vehicle here. See dust on the road. I'm just kind of limping it off the mountain right now. Just trying to get it to Horseshoe Bend so I can get some more air in there, get it up to the proper tire pressure amount it's supposed to have in there. But it's at 27 PSI, it's holding, and that's good news. I'm a little nervous about driving it on the highway and over the hill and on the tough corners, and I'll just limp it up the hills and down the hills and around the corners, and pray the Lord has his hand on us, gets us through this safely. I have confidence in him. I don't have confidence in the tire. I don't have confidence in the Fix-A-Flat. Should have got the Mickey Thompsons this winter. Anywho, here's where we're at. Let me show you what the tire pressure says. All right, it says the tire pressure is 27 on that tire. And it's been holding 27. It actually went up 1 PSI. When I got the puncture, I'd say within 3 minutes, it dropped 10 PSI. And then when we got on the property, within an hour, it was so flat that it was on the rim. With the other Fix-A-Flat in there, it never went all the way flat to where it was on the rim. So I'm happy about that. But we're gonna see how it does on the highway, over the hills and around the sharp corners. And like I said, with all sincerity, good Lord willing, we'll get home. All right, got into Horseshoe Bend. Got my little communication device there. Got my radio with my earpiece and my mic. Lindsay's talking to me in the earpiece. But anyways, we got into Horseshoe Bend. We were able to get air in the tire. Tire's got 37 PSI and holding. The Fix-A-Flat definitely worked. I'm just kind of limping it around the mountain right now, around these sharp corners, because I just don't want to put any undue pressure on that tire. It is the front tire. If it wasn't the front tire, I'd probably be less concerned, but it is the front tire. And so I'm just kind of limping it around the mountain. It's Memorial Day, so I got like 1,000 vehicles passing me. But anyways, it's looking good so far, and I think we're going to make it home. We're halfway over the mountain, and I would say I'm going to give the Fix-A-Flat, the compressed air in the Fix-A-Flat was toast. I know I've said that several times. It was not working good. I had to stop, shake it, stop, shake it. It says on the can it takes minutes. It took me minutes and minutes and minutes. I don't know how long. I hadn't had no coffee this morning, so I was not paying good attention to anything. I was just trying to get her done. But I'm going to give, even though I'm only going to give it a 9. No. I got to leave room. At 10 years, if that compressed air was still good in there, I'd give it a 10. But I'm going to give it a 9 because the compressed air was gone. It's probably just nature of the beast and not really the product's fault. But the product is holding air, and it did work in an emergency. You're definitely going to need to have an air pump of some sort. I would prefer one that plugs into my vehicle. That's what I'm going to get. Again, I had that, but you know, everything broke on this trip. So it just goes to show, no matter how prepared you think you are, you can be better prepared, or things can happen. And ultimately, it's in God's hands. And even as prepared as we try to be, He's the one who ultimately decides all these things. He's in control of all these things. So glory to Him. Grateful to get off the mountain and be able to get the truck back to town without, I actually didn't have to take the spare tire out. So it's going to be, overall, it's going to be an easier deal than what it would have been. But yeah, Fix-A-Flat worked good, especially for being over 10 years old. Tire pressure's holding, and tires holding up. Pretty happy with it. Anyways, see you when we get back to town, America. America, you're seeing this stuff in real time. You're seeing all the mistakes. You're seeing how we're trying to deal with it. You're seeing how well we're dealing with it. You're seeing how we're getting through it. It's not like I'm like, oh, hey, let's go and do this. Let's go do it. No. We got flat. I pulled over to let somebody get by on the dirt road, pulled off to the side, hit something, punctured my tire big enough that you could hear the air coming out of the tire. So, I said, well, let's make a video about the Fix-A-Flat, see how it goes. Like I said, real time, real life. And, I said at the beginning of the video, these are some of the reasons why you might need to have a Fix-A-Flat. And then, lo and behold, I was in one of those situations. And it's working out. Just got over the mountain pass. Pretty much got a little smaller mountain pass to get over, but it isn't nothing. And we're just pretty much on straight roads now. And I feel comfortable even going the speed limit. Even with a weak spot in the tire, I think it's probably all right. And that's when the tire blows out, and then it's on the front, and then I go rolling, and I got the video that will go viral. Anyways, happy that almost home, probably 20 minutes from being back in town, and definitely impressed with the Fix-A-Flat. And like I said, this is real life. You're seeing all my mistakes. You're seeing how I try to deal with the mistakes, and I make more mistakes trying to deal with the mistakes, and then not sure if I'm going to have to leave the truck on the mountain or not, and then here we are, almost home. Don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but it is looking good. If the Fix-A-Flat does what it says, it'll last for 3 more days, so tomorrow I'll be able to just drive it over. Won't have to even mess around with the spare, putting more air in, but I do have an air compressor at home, so if I have to put more air in, I'll put more air in. But anyways, America, almost home.